This guy performs all over the world. He is hilarious. Start clapping right now.
Thank you.
Everybody come on.
Thank you. Thanks, Troy. Thank you. All right. Well, let's. I'm actually. Yeah. Fuck this. You know, I just walked in the room now. It's raining out, by the way. That's why my hair is wet. This isn't my look. I don't know how the show's gone, but I asked the host, and he's like, "Yeah, they're a little tight up front, but now they're really good." And I feel like I'm gonna bring you back down. I'm pretty, because I'm not even gonna do. Usually the headliner is like, you know, the most accomplished comic on the lineup. But the reason I asked them to put me last is because I'm going to be impossible to follow. Not because I'm going to do stand-up comedy so well that no one could succeed that, but because I'm not going to do stand-up comedy. Evidence the microphone being here. You know, let's shatter the illusion. I'm going to sit. That's, yeah. Get used to the silence. We're gonna. No, because I've really for the past. So like during the whole lockdown. I was like, you know, I think I'm done with stand-up. I think, like, I missed it, but it didn't feel essential to me. So I was like, if it doesn't feel essential, why? I've been doing it for 14 years. Like, why continue doing it? And then things opened up, and I started doing it again because it's fun, you know. But not now, but sometimes. No, I have to stop going for the laughs. I do. So basically, my whole I've been trying to quit stand-up for 5 months. And every set I'm like, this will probably be my last set, but then it's fun and I keep doing it. But I just feel like, I don't know, you know, I'm a good writer. I'm a very good joke writer. And I'm a good performer when I actually care about what I'm saying, but so much of what I say on stage I don't care about, so I'm going to quit. And then I'm like, you know what, instead of quitting, why don't I just get on stage and just talk about what's going on in my life? And it's not going to be comedy for you guys, unfortunately. But there's no just ... I don't know what's going to happen. Ellipses. Which is the opposite of a punchline, right? A punchline, it hits, it's an exclamation point. I want ellipses. I want like open-ended ambiguity, which really is not what this form is about. But here we are. So, man, yeah, it's been. What's going on with me, you ask? But first of all, I feel like I should get everyone's buy-in, because this is sort of a hostage situation. You guys came for stand-up, and now I'm like, oh, we're not doing that. Is everyone cool with if I just talk about some shit? Yeah. All right, thank you. Not one person. Yeah, I don't blame you. If I were in your shoes, I'd be like, no, I want to fucking laugh, you know? So, yeah, I've been having a really difficult time because I've been living rent-free in a giant penthouse in the West Village for the last 5 months. And it has been fucking hell. It really has. It's been hell because, so I have obsessive compulsive disorder. If anyone else has OCD, raise your hand 6 times. That's the only joke. That's the only joke I'm gonna do. I was like, give them one joke just so, no more. I have to resist the temptation. I don't know why. I don't know, but I just feel, yeah. All right, so yeah, and my OCD, it's largely about decision making. I get obsessed. I call it white privilege OCD. It's basically, I get obsessed with like trivial choices. Oh, sorry, the microphone is blocking me. I want you to experience the full force of the not comedy that's happening right now. I wouldn't want after the show people to be like, how was it? And you were like, well, I didn't not laugh as much as the other people because the mic stand was blocking some of the anti-humor. So, no, so my OCD, decision making. It started 18 years ago. I had a very significant romantic relationship end, and very soon after, I suddenly became incapable of making any decision. Like getting dressed started taking me an hour, and you know, I think the results speak for themselves, but but I don't have that anymore. Like I eliminated all the like kind of daily forms of OCD. Like it was crazy. I'd walk down the street and I'd be like, oh no, wait, I should switch. I should walk down the other side of the street because there's more trees. And then I'd cross over and then I'd be like, well, but no, I need more sunlight. I need vitamin D. And I would fucking zigzag down the street every day. It was very pathological. So I'm glad you're not laughing. It was fucking intense. It really took over my life. And it got better thanks to a few things. One thing was psychedelics were very helpful. I'm on them right now, and pretty sure I'm hallucinating all of this. So, no, I'm not going to plug my other shows. Like, who would go to that? They're like, yeah, we want to see this guy not perform more. So, I do have a show called The Mushroom Cure, true story of how I tried to treat my OCD with psychedelics. When I tell people at the show, they're always like, did it work? And I'm always like, just buy tickets, you know? Then they're like, but I'm your mother, I'm just concerned about you. And, all right, see, that was a joke and it didn't even get a laugh. So I feel like I'm on the right path by not doing comedy. So that daily OCD got a lot better. But where I still get fucked up is decisions, very luxury decisions about like where to live, stuff like that. And so I came back when the lockdown lifted. My place in Brooklyn is sublet. And a friend has this massive penthouse in the West Village. He's not there. He's like, you could stay there for free. So I think someone just jumped off a ledge because they couldn't. Through the curtain, they're like, God, this is so boring. I'm gonna end it all. Someone just threw themselves down. Hopefully they're trying to abort a fetus and I'm still the cause though. Even if they're aborting a fetus, they're like, how can I bring a child into this world? So this poor person doesn't know. I think he just came in to use the bathroom, and he's like, I hope you're shooting up heroin in there. Save some for me. And the rest of the audience after this set. So I've been staying in my friend's fucking gigantic 2,000 square foot penthouse in the West Village, and I've been losing my shit because I'm like, I feel like I've been very uncomfortable there. And I don't know if it's because Manhattan is just a little too intense for me, or if it's just my OCD glomming onto something like, because the OCD likes to find problems so that then it can find solutions, and then I get a dopamine hit when I find solutions. It's an addiction, basically. And I think a lot of people have this at a low level. Like, I'm an extreme example, but I think we've kind of programmed ourselves, and our society has programmed us to always be searching for these little dopamine hits. I mean, the phone is the obvious example. And I was thinking about this. I've been on Cape Cod for the last few days, which was also hell. I was living in an oceanfront house for free. And, I mean, don't call me a hero. That's a little too strong. Hero is probably the right term. And I had 2 weeks of terrible OCD trying to decide whether to take another friend who has this house in Cape Cod up on his offer to stay there for free and live the penthouse where I was staying for free. It's fucking crazy. I think really what it's about, though, is I had my heart broken 18 years ago, and I wasn't willing to feel the loss of that. So I just kind of went into my head and tried to figure out how to make everything perfect, how to figure everything out, how to fix everything, how to make the right decision. But I do think everyone has some of this. I was thinking about this when I was on the Cape. When the butler brought me a drink, there was no butler there. It was a fairly modest house, but it is right on the edge of a dune overlooking the open Atlantic Ocean. And I wasn't checking my phone there. And I was thinking about, these famous studies, like where they have a rat in a cage, and the rat can administer pellets of like cocaine or heroin by hitting a lever, and they'll do it to the point that they actually starve to death. Famous studies. But someone then replicated these studies more recently. Some of you may know about this, because rats don't live in cages naturally. They actually are fairly curious, free-ranging, wide-ranging animals. So someone put rats in like a healthy rat habitat with lots of space to explore and other rats to play with. And they do the cocaine pellets for a little bit, and then they'd go play or fuck or do something else. And I think that's what we're all like right now. I think we're all in this environment, living in the city, just living in almost anywhere. There's just so much. I'm talking about myself, obviously. I don't know if you all feel this, but I feel like there is a lot of collective anxiety, and we have this way to administer little hits, and we do it all the time. I mean, we don't. People work in fucking cubicles. We don't even get a whole cube. We get a cubicle. Like, that's a miniature cube. We don't have the seal. Like, we're worse than the rats. They had a whole cage to themselves. We have a cagical. That's. If I wasn't going to quit stand-up, there'd be a good joke there. But yeah, I get really fucking. I've been getting really. The OCD was a lot better. See, when a lot of people assume, like, they're like, oh, COVID must have been so tough for people with OCD. And I think for people who have like contamination fear, that sort of thing, it was very difficult. But for me, the lockdown was fucking easy because I had no decisions to make. The opening up has been very, very difficult for me. I think because I've sort of out of practice in making decisions, and I don't know, I've really just been, yeah, kind of going off the deep end. So I spent 2 weeks trying to decide whether to go to my friend's house at the Cape. Just fucking, I checked the weather probably 400 times. Like, this is what I'll do. It's not good. I'll have weather.com and AccuWeather and Weather Underground opened side by side, comparing the forecasts. I like Weather Underground though. Do people know what the Weather Underground is?
Of course.
Is it? You do?
Of course.
Yeah. Can you define it for these fucking ignoramuses?
It's one of the data inputs that you use. When
No. I mean, but the actual historical reference to.
Oh yeah, no, that. Yeah.
So, all right, so the bibliography of the set, I'll give that to you right now, is so they were a fucking terrorist organization. I actually don't know all the details, but they blew up a house inadvertently in the West Village in the, 60s. 5 or 6 people died. And I love the fact that it is now a weather site. Because it's kind of like fucking, corporatism is just such a huge thing. It's kind of anti-corporate to name a weather website after a I think they were associated with the Black Panthers. To name a weather website after this revolutionary terrorist organization is like pretty, or actually maybe it's super corporate, because they were probably like, no, you know what? They're probably like, oh, the name has a certain brand recognition. It'll save us like 30% in our branding. No one fucking knows what it is, so yeah. There'll be like a soft drink named after Al Qaeda in 20 years. So I'll have the 3 fucking browsers open, comparing the hourly forecasts. And I'm not just looking for like probability of precipitation. That's basic shit. No, I'm looking for cloud cover, because if I'm going to be on the Cape, I want to see sunsets. And that requires, I don't want too many clouds, but you also don't want too few clouds. Because a sunset with no clouds, it's just boring. You just get like, the orange sky color. Like, I want the right amount of clouds, but they need to also be in the right position, and so I'm trying to figure that out with all of the websites. It's it's an addiction, because when I feel like I'm getting it right, when I feel like I'm making the right decision, it's a fucking high. But then it doesn't last, because I've spent so much time obsessing. I'm aware of like all the potential downsides of what I'm choosing. So I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't go to the Cape. That feels right. Yeah, I'll stay in New York. I'll do not comedy. And I'll feel good about that for like a minute or two, and I'll be like, yeah, but I should go to the Cape because I need to be on the beach, and I can just bounce back and forth. It's really, it's crazy. It's been really, super fucking intense. And I don't know. Any questions? All right, I'll keep talking. Yeah, can really fucking go down the rabbit hole. It's humbling. I don't know why I'm talking about it publicly, but I guess because